sign, buying bootleg liquor, champagne and wine. But then I began to fall so low. I didn't have no money and no place to go. If I ever get my hands on a dollar again, I'm gonna hold on to it till them eagle grins. Nobody knows you. Oh, when you're down and out, in your pockets, not one penny. As for your friends, well, you ain't got any. If I ever get back on my feet again, then I'll meet my long lost friends. It's mighty strange without a doubt. No man can use you when you're down and out. I mean when you're down and out. Nobody knows you when you're down and out. In my pockets, not one penny. As for my friends, well, I haven't any. If I ever get back on my feet again, then I'll meet my long lost friends. It's mighty strange without a doubt. No one can use you when you're down and out. I mean when you're down and out. Come back, baby, please don't go. The way I love you, you will never know. Come back now, baby, can't we talk it over just one more time? You know this world wasn't made in one day, so can't we talk it over before you go away? Come back, baby, let's talk it over just one more time. You know it's been a long time since I seen you smile. Made me think about when you was a child. Come back now, baby, can't we talk it over just one more time? Train, mean and Johnny, he took my baby and left me standing here. Come back, baby, Let's talk it over just one more time. Come back, baby, please don't go. The way I love you, you will never know. Come back now, baby, can't we talk it over just one more time? Big road by myself. Don't you hear me talking, pretty papa? I ain't going down that big road by myself. Lord, if I don't carry you, I'm gonna carry somebody else. Crying the sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. Don't you hear me talking, pretty papa? Sun is gonna shine in my back door someday. Lord, the wind is gonna change, gonna blow my blues away. If he don't fuss or fight now, he don't fuss or fight, pretty papa. What good is a bulldog? He don't fuss or fight. What good is a man can't make his woman stay all night? Well, if you don't want me, baby, then why don't you tell me? Why don't you tell me? Tell me so. If you don't love me, baby, why don't you tell me so? It ain't like I'm a woman, ain't got no place to go. Myself. Don't you hear me talking, pretty papa? I ain't going down that big road by myself. And if I can't carry you, I'm gonna carry somebody else, somebody else, somebody else. Wake up, daddy, now, turn your lamp down low. I said, wake up now, daddy, and turn your lamp down low. Say, have you got the nerve to drive a good woman from your door? Oh, my mother died and left me reckless. Daddy died and left me wild.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
We are live. Say something in the chat if you can hear us. Not if you think you can hear us, but if you can. We've got all kinds of people here. So I'll stop rambling. I'm Josh Fox, This is Sean Dixon.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for coming out.
And we're really excited to have other people hear this music. I'm just going to do a little bit of an intro about how the event's going to go. So, I should introduce our band, right? The name of our band is Don't Break My House. It's a new band. This is our first record. Sean lives in New York City. I live in Chicago. And we have known each other for a very, very long time. Sean, how long have we known each other?
I didn't do the math, but that is probably 35
yeah,
years.
It's 30 some years. So Sean and I have known each other since we were little kids, and we've been playing music together for most of that time.
Since 1988.
1988? Okay.
7th grade.
Yeah, that's right. We can get into that more later. I want to get to the music as quick as possible. But here's how this is going to go. We're going to play one song at a time and talk in between. And we've got stuff to talk about. And I'm going to try to catch questions in the chat. Hey, everybody. It's going to go quick. But we'll get there, and we'll get a little bit of dialogue going on, because we can read the comments while the songs are playing. I just want to say a couple things about the music that we're about to listen to. There's 10 songs. It's about 42 minutes long, and I encourage all of you to think of the music as a mixtape. It's a kind of at the core of my musical philosophy and interest, and it just bled into the making of this record. I assume, because there's a lot of variety on the record, that not everybody's going to like every song. There might be a song you like the most, there might be a song you're iffy on, and from my point of view, that's okay, as long as you don't dislike all of it.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So we're going to get started. Sean, do you have anything else to say?
Oh, that sounds good. Let's let the music speak.
Yeah. There are basically little lyric videos for each of the songs. So if you're inclined to watch along, and you'll be able to see the lyrics and things, and some other surprises are peppered in there. You can do that too. So we're going to get started. I hope everybody has a good stereo system set up so you can really hear it, and some room to shake a tail feather. So we're going to get started with the first song. It's called Button, and here we go.
Some ghosts know better than to sit at the breakfast table. They've got nothing to love, nothing to hold in their arms. Some ghosts sing songs of gold, but we're not able to hear a heartbeat's elegant hum above the alarms. Pain paints everything a deep dark crimson. I can't remember a word that doesn't mean me harm. The pain, my son, it has its own opinion. You and I, we fall and prey to his charm. Continue to push the button again and again and Some cowboys think they kill, that's their delusion. Shoot the bad guys down with fingertips. Saying, leave what I want, I don't need your permission. The truth is whatever I roll across my lips. Continue to push the button again and again and again. Continue to push the button again and again and Continue to push the button again and again and again.
All right, we are back on the airwaves.
Song number one.
One song down, 9 to go.
We'll start that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I'm breathing a big sigh of relief. So we could talk about that song a little bit. So of the 10 songs that are on the record, that one is actually has the oldest origins. So it started, well, I guess I put this in the fun fact here. So that one, the kind of core guitar bass riff was written in 2014. Some people are experiencing interruptions. That's not good. And then interestingly, the second half of the song was the last, I think, Sean, is that right? It was kind of the last thing that we did on the record.
It was the last thing I did. Those drums.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
So,
interesting.
So I don't know. I think Sean, we could take a couple of minutes just to talk about like the process of this project and how it came to be. And I'll start.
Go ahead.
Okay. So back in 2018, I just kind of randomly, got this idea after a lot of prodding to try to make some music. It had been almost 10 years since my last record, the Lambie Bear record, and so I reached out to Sean in New York and said, "Hey, what do you think if I come for a week or something and we just make music?" Which is something that we used to do when I lived in New York. Not a lot, but it happened. I'd come over to your studio and we recorded some stuff. And Sean was like, "Yeah, cool." And for him, it's like just a regular part of his life. So it'd be like saying, "Can I come over and eat lunch with you?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that anyway." Right? I don't know. That's how I felt.
That's true. Yeah, that's how that first trip was, definitely.
So I went out in December of 2018 and spent, what was it, like, it was 8 days, I think.
It was okay.
Yeah. And did nothing but make music. So I had some song ideas ready to go, and then came up with a lot of stuff there. But really just produced a lot of ideas, and a fair amount of what's on the record now was recorded during that time. And I don't know, Sean, why don't you talk a little bit about that period of time?
Yeah, actually, you mentioned Lambie Bear. I believe you started actually some of that material in my studio.
That's true.
Didn't you? Over 2001.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So we've kind of always had this ebb and flow since 1988, 7th grade, where we first started. But I kind of feel like we've had our periodic ebb and flows over decades now, and this was just one more that we came back together to kind of reassess our musical journeys and collaborate. Because I think this was obviously the most collaboration we've done since being a young child, but you always did ask me to, "Hey, can you play drums on this, or can you shake a tambourine or hit a woodblock?"
Mm-hmm.
I always did that, but this time you were like, "Okay, now we're going to finish it together." Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that kind of happened after I came back and had a couple months back in Chicago, kind of toying with the music, and the original premise was that you were just gonna help me make some music and be a crash pad. And then I kind of realized, no, I need Sean to be a part of this, permanently, because it's
right.
going to be way better.
I tried.
Yeah. And
I did my best.
And it's more fun to make music with another person than it is by yourself. I mean, that's just a kind of incontrovertible
the human fact.
Maybe not for everybody, but anyway, maybe that's enough blabbering?
That's enough history.
Yeah, for now.
That's enough history. Let's move on.
We will move on to the second song, and it is called Damage Control. So hold on to your hats.
We gotta fake it until we can make it, you know what I mean? We gotta fake it until we can make it, you know what I mean?
Piranhas in the C-suite and they're licking their lips.
And we are back. We need a little damage control. I'm just like kind of reflecting on the lyrics, and how some stuff that you write in one period of time takes on new meaning in another period. This is one of those songs. I think of this song as the lead single for the record. Not that means anything in this context, but I don't know. I kind of feel like this is when you're making independent music, talking about is it going to be a hit on the radio is a kind of silly thing, but I don't know if you agree, Sean, but it feels like this is the kind of poppiest.
I'll let everyone else judge that.
Okay, fair enough. For me, this a lot of the music on the record is taking other music as a kind of starting point. Obviously there's a lot of international music. You'll hear more as we go along. So it's, essentially, starting with music that I love and trying to emulate it, which is, I think, how most music gets created. And I love a lot of African music, and there's a lot of African stuff here. Sean was particularly helpful in that regard. When you have a drummer who's schooled in African drumming, that's kind of critical if you're going to do anything that's even remotely African. It also, for this song and later in the record, we'll hear him again, but Famaro Diabate played the bala, also known as a balafone. And I'm going to let Sean talk about Famaro a little bit, because I think he's an interesting character and it's a good story.
Yeah, I'll just say that he's my African papa. I've known him we've been working.
We gotta fake it until we can make it, you know what I mean?
Everything all right?
Yeah, I hit a button. That's okay. Proceed.
Stop hitting buttons.
I'm moving my hand.
Yeah. And he's what is known in West Africa as a griot, where he's considered an oral historian through playing his instrument and singing the stories of all of everything that's going on around him, whether it be with businesses and families and politics. He is the oral historian, and he's been doing that in New York for about as long as I've lived there, about 25 years. And I met him through a group of musicians in New York that I had gone to Guinea with in 2000, and I've been making music with him for almost 20 years. He's a very special musician in that lineage. His grandfather was known as the grandfather of the balafone in his last 100 years, and he is a direct blood relative of that. And his family line has been playing this music and that instrument for almost 800 years. Wow. So it's a whole nother level and depth of musical understanding. So it's been really special having him in my musical journey, and it's great to bring him in. And he loves being involved in anybody's music, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's what you heard there. Yeah. That love.
Yeah, and that, I mean, just in my limited experience of working with him, I mean, that was very clear. It's just like, I'm here to play. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, definitely.
They didn't quite hear because I pushed the button how long you and Famaro have known each other. You said 20 years?
It's about 18 years.
Yeah.
Coming around on 20. Okay. Yeah, since 2002.
Cool.
Yes. Played with him and made many, many recordings together.
Cool. And I just want to remind everybody that you can ask questions about the music. If you have questions about the lyrics or anything that you're hearing, that'll definitely be great for us. I mean, we got plenty to say, but I will talk about the art in a minute, maybe in the next go around. But right now we're going to listen to the third song. This song is called La Cumbia de los Vencidos. And here we go.
dicen que esta vaina se nos va a acabar. El planeta calienta, todos nos fuimos, paquen maleta ya. Y ahora sí, juntamos ya. No más guerra, no más pobreza, no más odio, no más política.
¡Qué vaina!
¡Qué chévere! La cumbia.
Los vencidos,
La cumbia.
los vencidos,
La cumbia.
los vencidos,
La cumbia.
los vencidos. Todos me dicen que esta vaina se nos va a acabar. El planeta calienta, todos nos fuimos, empaquen maleta ya.
Y ahora sí, juntamos ya. No más hambre, no más pobreza, no más crimen, no más enfermedad. ¡Qué vaina!
¿Qué onda, güey?
La cumbia.
Los vencidos,
La cumbia.
los vencidos,
La cumbia.
los vencidos,
La cumbia.
los vencidos. Imagine, el paraíso.
Adiós a todos.
El debate final.
What?
We're back. Are you ready? Hey, everybody. We are back. That trumpet solo just slays me every time. I mean, I can't imagine a time in my life where I won't hear that and just be like, this is my music. What the heck? So that horn solo was Dan Brantigan. Part of the story that I didn't talk about, and I know I'm talking a lot, so I'm going to speed it up here, but after being in New York in 2018, I went back in January of this year to record vocals and to do some horns, and Sean really stepped into the role of a producer while we were in the studio, and arranged for all these amazing musicians to come in, including this great horn section, and just brought an incredible amount of flavor and juice to the music that just wouldn't be there without it. And of course, we had a very special guest vocalist on this song. Sean, do you want to say anything?
Yes, I just want to say that's all I have to say about this song is that it featured my lovely lady, Sandra Lilia Velasquez, and her beautiful voice.
So
That's all I'm going to say. Let's carry on.
So sometimes you're good friends with an amazing musician, and sometimes your good friend who's an amazing musician is dating another amazing musician, and it's like double benefit. Really, really great. And the lyrics were co-written. My Spanish is real minimal, so I was really fortunate to get connected to this great young composer named Nico Gutierrez, who invited me to his house one afternoon, and we just sat and banged out some Spanish lyrics, which is something I would not have been able to do on my own. And of course, having a native speaker sing along helps too, because my pronunciation isn't the greatest. All right, I'm rambling, so we're gonna go ahead to track 4, and it is called The Train. Are you ready, Sean?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
The train is on the track, and it's never coming back. The train is on the track, and it's never coming back. Get on board, or we'll roll right over you. The tunnel's black as night, and there's no end in sight. Tunnel's black as night, and there's no end in sight. We're gonna roll till we reach the light. Take my hand, my friend. Come on board and find your seat. We're nowhere near the end, and we won't accept defeat. No matter what comes, we're gonna fight, fight, fight. Train is on the track, and it's never coming back. The train is on the track, and it's never coming back. Get on board, or we'll roll right
And we are back. This is fun. Who knew sitting in your basement surrounded by computers could be so much fun? I'll say a little bit about that song. Was really written, kind of inspired by experiences that I had a couple of years ago, being super involved in Indivisible and being, really involved in activism, and as a part of that, being out marching and being at rallies a lot, and feeling like, at least for the group that I was around, there's a lot of songs that we were singing and chants and things that were old, and just kind of feeling like we needed some new protest music. So this is kind of my attempt to write a really rallying protest song. So yeah, that's where that came from. And we got a lot of help on that one from Nick Oddie, who's a really great musician in New York that Sean is friends with, and has a room in his house that seems to be known as the Keyboard Museum, which it is. I mean, it was just filled with amazing keyboards and things. So that was really fun going there. Sean, anything to add about that one?
No, that was a lot of you.
Yeah.
That one was good.
But you did a lot. I mean, we reached a point with the song where I was like, I don't know what to do anymore, and you really took it and carried it over the finish line.
Oh, that's true. That was more of a mix.
Yeah.
A mixed thing. But the idea of it being you kind of solitary during this time when we started mixing this over quarantine really connected to me. It kind of gave me a direction. So it was someone, in solitary confinement, but screaming.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. So I was able to create that, use that as a creation of a crescendo for the whole song. I guess that was my inspiration for that moment. But, it's you, solitary, so it's not me.
You say so.
Yeah.
So that's the first.
The next
Yeah.
song. The next song I did.
The next song is a lot of Sean. I mean, there are portions of this song that I basically had nothing to do with, which is a new experience for me. And it's great. It's nice to be able to be like, all right, I'm gonna step back. So we're gonna go into a little bit of a quieter moment for the record. And we'll play track 5, which is called Paradise Built in Hell. Here we go.
Even the highway's on fire, your town's burning down. You can't save it. The sorrow you feel, your loved ones can't be found. You can't name it. You rage at the ones meant to keep you safe and sound. You can't contain it. The safety you felt yesterday, it's all an illusion. Still you crave it. Where do you turn? Who do you turn to? Where do you go? Who do you go with? rises up and crushes your home. It's hard to believe it. The only streets, the only trees, the only house that you know. Still you leave it. Fear grips every corner of your mind, and it shows. You can't conceal it. Rupture in your life grows and grows. It's hard to conceive it. Where do you turn? Who do you turn to? Where do you go? Who do you go with? We can turn to each other. We can go with one another. All we need is each other. We take care of one another.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can see how I learned,
Yeah.
right?
Hey, everybody, we're back. Um, I don't know what to say. Obviously, the title of the song is very similar to a book that a lot of people may have read, A Paradise Built in Hell by Rebecca Solnit, right? That's who wrote it, right? For me, it was kind of when I was in New York in 2018 the first time and started writing this. It was shortly after the Paradise Fire had happened in California, and it just was kind of reflecting on what it means to be in a town that burns down, and obviously the government reaction was not great, and really thinking about that book and the lessons in it about how people come together, and that's this song and the next song. I think the kind of what for me is the core idea of the record about working together. That idea is very upfront, in out in the open. I know people want to hear about the art, so I'll say a couple things about the album art. The art is taken from a painting by an artist from Milwaukee called Reginald Baylor, whose art I've loved for a really long time. And this painting in the square that you see on the record is just one small part of a much larger painting. The painting hangs in the Milwaukee Art Museum, and I've had it on the background of my cell phone for years, and so I'm looking at it, probably hundreds of times a day. So when we got to the point to start thinking about what was going to be the art, I had this kind of what I thought was a kind of pipe dream about being able to use the painting And I finally reached out to Reggie and his team, and they were immediately receptive to the idea and have been really, really amazing and wonderful collaborators. And I think it looks great, and really excited that when people are associating a visual with this music, that's what they're thinking, because it's something I really love. Sean, you got anything to say for yourself?
Not at this time.
Not at this time.
No, I really enjoy the painting too. I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't know how many thousands upon thousands of times you had seen that when you suggested it, but now it makes a lot more sense. And I think it's that life and color that painting exudes is also something that I feel like you can get from, the journey of listening to this record, kind of bopping around, and so it feels very appropriate.
Yeah. And I gotta say, like, as the cover's been done, and the design was by the wonderful Sam Allenson, who I know is watching right now. Hi, Sam. Who helped us
Awesome job.
put the name logo together and is doing a lot of really great work. If you go to the Bandcamp page, which I just linked to in the comments, where you can download the record and pre-order the vinyl version, a lot of that design is Sam's handiwork. I feel like when I look at the painting, I'm seeing characters and ideas and stories from the music, which obviously there's not an actual connection, but that's kind of fun. So we'll stop yapping, and we're going to go to song number 6. This song is called Until You Heal.
Everybody breaks a bone or two. Sometimes everybody takes a fall, but your family can take care of you until you heal. You and your mind are not the best of friends. Someday it gets so hard, but your family can take care of you until you heal. Keep moving forward. Do your best to become full of strength and vigor. Someone else's turn will come. Your heart is broken and your dreams are too. Oh boy, you need time, time, time. So your family will take care of you until you heal. So your family will take care of you until you heal. Until you heal.
Okay, we are back. Yeah. What machine makes the space music in this song? Sean? Why are you asking Sean, Steve? The bleep bloops. We got a question about the bleep bloops.
Those were his bloops.
So the bleep bloops I did on an instrument on the computer, and then Sean, you basically recreated them, right?
I did. I played them on another instrument, and then we combined the two.
Oh, is that what happened?
That's what happened.
Well,
Yeah.
You learn something new every day. Is it too late to name the band Bleepy Bloopy? It is too late to name the band Bleepy Bloopy, but maybe record number 2. I'm not going to say a whole lot more. Let's get moving with the next song. This song is called Farfisa, with a Z, and it features the instrument, the farfisa, with an S. And we're going to see something a little bit different here, so check it out.
In a little country town, in the mountains way up high, the Farfisa soul is out, a troublemaking girl aged 9. At the center of the town was a big and deep dark hole, where they threw their garbage down. Where it went they did not know, till some creature learned the lore. No one believed that anymore. One day the earth started really shaking. Even the mayor did not know what to do. All the buildings were collapsed and breaking. The people turned and said, it's up to you. She didn't want to be some kind of hero. She just wanted to play hide and go seek. Words of wisdom, though they offered zero. She was the only person brave enough to speak. So on a rope they lowered her down, down, down into the big and deep dark hole. The smell was horrible. And peering out from under a mountain of garbage were 2 giant sad eyes.
Are you the fearsome creature of lore?
She asked.
Yes, but I mean no harm. I love the town.
The creature replied.
It's just that.
The creature's sneeze rumbled and shook everything around.
I don't feel very well these days.
Farfisa knew what must be done. Back on the surface, she told the whole town what she had seen and what they must do. And little by little, they cleaned all of the garbage from the hole. Lo and behold, the earthquake stopped. Now, instead of garbage, once a day they send down a bouquet of lilacs, the creature's favorite flower. And now Farfisa had become a hero. That's a really big responsibility. Didn't want to be some kind of hero. She was the only person brave enough to speak.
And we're back. This is one of the bad parts about doing this way and not being in a room with all of you guys, because that song is just like, so I just get a kick out of it every time. That song really started, I was kind of thinking about Brazilian Tropicalia and wanting to do something in that vein. I don't think musically we got very close to that, but it did evolve into something different, which is, a story, a kid's song. When I was getting ready to try to write the lyrics and come up with the idea, I felt like I needed a kid. And luckily I've got a kid in my house. So I grabbed my then 9-year-old stepson one day, who's very imaginative, and we kind of just sat and jammed, and he just spit probably about 15 or 20 ideas at me, and like 4 of them are in the song. So that was really great. And we had some guest vocalists on the record, Abby and Adam, who you heard earlier, who are friends of Sean's. Sean, do you want to say something about them?
Yeah, you actually heard them earlier in Paradise Built in Hell. They were sounding lovely in the hopeful moments of that song with Ooze, and on this song you want them to sound like children, and I said that they do that more often than they sound like professional singers. No, they're both incredibly talented, dear friends of mine, but they do like to kid a lot. So when they kid together, they do all kinds of voices, and they were very much at home in that setting.
And that was, they were singing like the backup kid vocals, but then in the story part, when Farfisa talks and the creature talks, that's them too. And Sean is right. Like, I've got video of them in the studio, and they just basically were cutting it up the entire time they were together in there. I mean, they were serious when it was time to do the music and really, really, really on it. But yeah, just a kind of scream to be around. 2 people who can do infinite crazy voices and just crack each other up. Is there anything basic that we haven't? The band name. People keep asking.
There you go. That's pretty basic.
Yeah, pretty basic. Get to the point, Josh. So the phrase "Don't break my house" is something that's been in my lexicon for a long time, and it started when I was much younger and had house parties on a regular basis, and I basically would put up a sign on the front door with 2 rules about what needed to happen when you were in the house. And one was no fire, which happened because we did have a fire in our house at a party. And the second main rule is don't break my house, which has always been a kind of joke. But then it just stuck in my head, and Sean and I talked about it being the title for the record. And in the context of this music, I think takes on a lot of different meaning. If you think about, what is house, a metaphor for, it could be a demand, it could be a plea to be respectful and be kind and, like I said, work together. And it has some of that jokey thing that is for me really important, and I think in the record in a lot of places too. So we knew that was going to be the name of the record, and as the project was nearing completion, we still did not have a name for the band, and I was really having a hard time. Band names, for some reason, are just like the most difficult thing to come up with. I'm not exactly sure why, but once you enter that path, everything you come up with sounds stupid. And at a certain point, I think you just have to embrace a certain kind of stupid and go with it. And it takes on a different meaning as people hear the music and the vision of the band grows. So that's where we are. That's Don't Break My House. It's not a really enlightening story, but that's what it is. We're going to keep rolling here. So that was track number 6. So we've got 3 songs left. No, 4 songs. No. That was track number 7.
Oh, 3.
So we've got 3 songs left. That's math. And we're going to hit it. This song is called Falling Awake. And we're back. Thank you for going on that journey with us. Sean, what were you saying about mixing that song?
I said for me that was it was one of the most fun ones to play, but it was also one of the most fun to mix, just because of the crazy, with the horns, the crazy with the bass, the crazy with the keyboards. You gave me full reign to go crazy with everything.
Yeah.
So I took it.
Yeah, I think it ended up
It's
great. I mentioned this in the slides for the thing, but we had these amazing horn players come in, and I knew I wanted the sax solo to be the first solo on the song, and Michael Eaton is just this incredible player, and but the horns had been playing. Not that it's necessarily easy, but it's they're playing parts. They weren't soloing a whole lot, so he gets up to solo, and he took a pass through the solo, and it was okay, but it was a lot. It was a lot of notes, and so he made one pass, and I said to Sean, maybe we should play the guitar solo for him, because the guitar solo had already been recorded, and Sean said that's a good idea, so we played it for him, and he just kind of listened, and he goes, oh, okay, I got it. And then we hit record, and he did that all in one take. And I mean, he got done, and I was just like, yes. Same with the trumpet solo, just like, this is so great. And I just felt like he nailed it, and he understood immediately, what the song was trying to do. So that was really fun.
Yeah.
And that was ukulele in the beginning. Which I actually recorded on my phone in Sean's bedroom, where I was staying one night after I had already come back from the studio. So okay, we got 2 more songs to go, and they're both super fun. So we're gonna hit it, and this is a song called Gabrielle, and I hope you enjoy it. That's fun. I hope everybody's up and dancing a little bit. I really do. If we were able to do this live, I would be dancing with you. So this song is almost as cool as Gabrielle. Gabe hates this kind of attention, but it's too bad. It's too bad. That song is. There's a couple of songs. You know, the process of making the music was, as you may have gathered from listening to us talk, a little bit fractured. I mean, we were together for certain parts, but most of the time we were apart. And even when we were in the same place, a lot of times I was working on stuff, Sean was working on stuff. This is a song that started from us just jamming, just playing I started playing a bass riff and Sean started playing drums, and that little kernel riff became the basis for the whole song. And obviously it's got a kind of Afrobeat feel to it, or at least that's what we were trying to go for. I definitely, when I listen to it, I feel like we were aiming for Fela and we ended up at like, you know, early Red Hot Chili Peppers, which might not be great for some people, but we grew up loving the Red Hot Chili Peppers, so it makes sense that would be what happened. Sean, why don't you show everybody your sweatshirt for a second?
Oh yeah, represent.
So that's where we're coming from.
1988. Truth and Soul.
That's right. So we've arrived at the last song on the record, and I want to thank everybody for going on this journey with us. And I want to remind you that you can go to our Bandcamp page. I'm going to put the link in here again. And you can listen to the record. You can download a digital version. You can pay us a little bit of money if you want to do that. And then at some point we're going to print up vinyl records of the album, so you can pre-order there if you are a kind of person who has a record player. We'll talk a little bit after this last song, so we don't need to get to everything. But Sean, you got anything you're dying to tell people? Hopes, dreams?
We're going to recap one more time after this last song, are we not?
Yeah, we'll come back. Yeah.
Yeah. No, let's enjoy this.
This is this song is another that came out of a little bit of jamming, or Sean kind of messing with the drum machine, and he went away and came back, and I was like, ooh, I have an idea. So this song is called Living on the Edge, and here we go.
use our dance floor and we'll dance till we're dead. We're living on the edge, and I can't stop to think about tomorrow now. We're living on the edge, and I can't stop to think about tomorrow. We're living on the edge, and I can't stop to think about tomorrow now. We're living on the edge, and I can't stop to think about tomorrow. We're living on the edge, and I can't stop to think about
And we are back. One last time. I kind of wish I had more music to play for you guys. But we have been at this for a little bit here. Yeah, that's obviously a kind of 80s, what I'm trying to do, like an 80s thing. I got my mom to sing on the chorus, which is really fun. And I think, you know, we sing together a lot, and not this kind of music by any stretch of the imagination. But I feel like it works. I'm happy with it, and I'm really glad that she's on the record in two different places. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do.
Yeah.
There's somebody that I didn't mention. There's a couple people actually. So, you know, when you make a record, there's a lot of things that are not just making the music to try to make it good, including mastering. So the whole record was mastered by my friend Justin Dennis, so I know he's watching right now, and a really kind of supernaturally talented audio engineer, and he made it sound good. There was you know, when you're working on a project like this, you have moments when you think it sounds great, and then moments where you're just not so sure. Justin's mastering really was like it was like there was a cake and the frosting was kind of messed up, and he just kind of smoothed it all out. And really, after he mastered, I felt like this is how it's supposed to sound. This is how it's always sounded in my head, and it's finally there. So that was really great. Yeah, and I didn't mention this, but the stuff that was recorded in a studio in New York was at the Bridge, which is in Brooklyn, run by a really great guy named Eamon, and we were there for 2 days and really had a fantastic time. And Sean works with him a lot, so if you ever need to record in Brooklyn, go to the Bridge.
Yes.
I don't have a whole lot more to say. I mean, I do, but you know, I could go all night long. Most of you guys know me. If you want to hear me ramble on about music or have questions, holler at me.
Well, I may not, so I have to thank all 43 people who are with us right now. That's a wonderful, a wonderful amount of people. Honestly.
Yeah. Sean, I said, you know, there's 43 people watching. He said, oh, that's more than you can get to come out to gigs usually. So that's the.
So we're doing pretty well.
That's the upside of doing a musical experience where nobody has to leave their house. But I do want to thank everybody for spending your Friday nights with us. I hope you had a good time, and we'll continue to. Please, you know, listen to the record wherever you want. It is on Spotify and Apple Music and all those places now. And if you are interested in having a vinyl record copy, go ahead and pre-order it, and it should be ready. I'm not joking, sometime in 2021. Because that's how vinyl manufacturing is going these days. But there's more to come. I think there's going to be more music, and we're going to see what we can do with this record. You know, we put it out independently now, but I'm definitely would be interested in talking to a label or somebody who wants to get involved. So tell your friends. I think we're going to sign out. Sean, do you have anything else that you want to say?
Don't break my house.
You guys?
Just don't break my house. That's it. Just don't break my house.
And we're going to say goodnight. I've got a little going away video for you here, and I hope everybody has a really good night, and thanks for joining us. Signing off.
Yeah, thanks everybody.